pick up my money, head back into town, driving across the Waynesburg County line. I got the radio on, but I'm just killing time, working all day in my daddy's garage, driving all night, chasing some mirage. Pretty soon, darling, I'm gonna take charge. Well, the dogs on Main Street howl 'cause they understand. If I could take this moment into my hands, Mister, I ain't a boy, no, I'm a man, and I believe in the promised land. Well, I've done my best now to live a right way. I get up every morning and go to work each day, but your eyes go blind and your blood runs cold. Sometimes I feel so weak, I just wanna explode, explode and tear this whole town apart. Take a knife and cut this pain from my heart. Try to find somebody, Jim, or something to start. Well, the dogs on Main Street howl 'cause they understand. If I could take this moment into my hands, Mister, I ain't a boy, no, I'm a man, and I believe in the promised land. There's a dark cloud rising from the desert floor. Pack my bags and I'm headed straight into the store. Gonna be a twister to blow everything down. That ain't got the faith to stand its ground. Blow away the dreams that tear you apart. Blow away the dreams that break your heart. Blow away the lies that leave you nothing but lost and broken hearted. Well, dogs on Main Street howl 'cause they understand. If I could take this moment into my hands, Mister, I ain't a boy, no, I'm a man, and I believe in the promised land. Yeah, and I believe in the promised land.
up the collar on.
All right.
We are live.
We are back.
We're back.
We are back. Oh, yeah, so we have Brad Forster. Right, that was the whole thing. Wait, I didn't really get my...
Yeah, he wanted to talk about
my time in the
Comorn law.
Okay, fine.
And
let me get that. Let's make sure the evidence...
Yeah, let's talk about the evidence.
Okay.
Let's talk about it.
Brad, how are you? First, before Brad speaks, let me say that Brad Forster is a tremendous person, a huge advocate in Michigan. He's one of the first people I met in my endeavors as a cannabis reformist. Taught me a lot. Great respect for Brad. But Brad, why do you say what you say? With that being said, no. First of all, welcome Brad Forster, please.
Welcome.
Yay, Brad.
Hi, Brad.
Michigan Normal, woo.
Michael,
Hey, Brad.
Michael, and everybody. It's always a pleasure to be on the show. I didn't really call in tonight with the intention of being on. I just really wanted to listen, but I appreciate the opportunity to always speak on your show, on your program.
All right, great. So first of all, I was giving some of my thoughts for the year 2019, pros and some cons. I don't know if I got to all of them. Do you have any, being a seasoned thought leader, do you have any reflections on, or comments looking forward, I should say, in terms of what you expect in 2019?
I hope it's going to be a tremendous year for the cannabis consumer in Michigan. We face challenges. Let me say that. Obviously, everyone knows that retail outlets are going to be few and far between, in terms of recreational. There won't be any licensed until, who knows when. I think the law calls for December. There's talk in the air that it could happen sooner with the new administration. Nobody knows for certain, but it's going to happen. And we've made progress. I think we made tremendous progress in 2018, and I look forward to 2019 as being a better year for us. And I think we'll have an easier time in the legislature this year than we've had in the past as well. I know Republicans still control both houses, but the margins are slimmer, and there's a new executive that has to sign off on anything that they pass. So
that's true, and let's hope
I'm very optimistic.
Let's hope that that's true. One could even say that if they were even somewhat doing their job, whatever the party is, it could be said that there's a mandate to get to some of these issues, right? I mean, we've got a vote in favor of legalization, or Prop 1, and then you've got these candidates who supported it, in office to implement it. We know that the combination of MMA or medical marijuana and the wrong people in position has been the wrong combination. So this year we have a mandate for them to ensure that takes place. Even with that being said, though, and in your reflections on accomplishments, I would agree. But isn't it true that the accomplishments are to be recognized really come from the people, the community? You know what I mean? In terms of driving this, educating, and making it happen. There's no legislature that could or would or should really step forward that would be the hero in this, or to say would be the leader in any kind of accomplishment, right? I mean, where we stand today is a lot of opportunity to be great, to fix a lot of problems that have been, deterred because of politics. And, but we stand here today, January 2nd, 3rd, whatever, with great optimism because we've got a new law, we've got federal approval of hemp, and an administration that's been given a mandate to try to make that work for Michigan. Would you agree with that? I mean, the accomplishments have been less from the government in terms of its effectiveness in, like, for example, implementing the MMFLA, right?
They've been very obstructionist, Well, let's be frank about them, but it was a different regime. It was, Arlen Meekoff and, other people who steered the ship in the past. We have a whole new team of leadership in the Senate for Republicans. I believe, from my perspective, they're a much more rational and compassionate group. And I mean, it is rational and compassionate as that side of the aisle wants to be. So I'm going to sit here and tell you I'm really optimistic about the future. But again, all that remains to be seen. And what I do know is to get here to where we are today, Michael, took a lot of hard work from a whole lot of people, many of whom aren't even here with us today to enjoy this rich feast that we are now enjoying.
100%, Brett. 100%. And I agree with you. And that is really the glory in all of this. You know what I mean? Despite the awesomeness, really, the absolute awesomeness of the police in doing whatever they wanted to, we stand here today by way of civilized, democratic process, in a republic of, electing officials and passing laws.
Power to the people.
To, empower and move forward on an issue that, but, and I guess they're trying to be kind about the past regime and their obstructionists. And let's hope that they understand the direction here that the state needs to go. But it is, you're right.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're getting on our train here. I'm not saying that Republican leadership is going to give us everything that we go in there and ask for. But I'm saying I don't think they are going to be as bad as what we've seen in the past. I think, with guys like Lucido running, chairing some committees, we're going to see social justice reforms. That's been a big topic for Lucido.
Yeah.
So, that's a very positive thing for our side. We just have to figure out how to find the common ground with guys like Lucido and work hard to push that stuff through. But there's going to be opportunities for us as advocates here to work with both sides of the aisle, I think, in this next session. And
I agree.
Like I said, I'm really optimistic.
Despite the fact that they may not agree on a lot of other issues, I could see, for example, Dana Nessel and supporting wholeheartedly the total reform of forfeiture, which has been Lucido's baby, which has always been, as Jeff Frazier would say, you've seen more drug policy reform from Republicans than Democrats, but that is clearly an issue that all people have realized is a time for a change. Not to mention this next session of the U.S. Supreme Court will probably dictate a finding that not only is the Eighth Amendment guaranteed to the states, but the concepts associated with forfeiture are fundamentally unconstitutional because they violate the excessive fines, excessive punishment. Right. But so I agree with that. And you're right. And as you come out of the federal government's legislative acts this last go around, in their dominance by the Republicans, there's an overtone of criminal justice reform. Jeff, would you agree with that? Like, this last session, I mean, that's some of the boasting of what's taking place. Whether it's what its impact is really going to be is yet to be seen. But from the Republican-dominated government, one of the outcomes of their budget was to reduce spending for